What is up, y'all? Joe Pal Charlie Chainsaw. We'll be talking about the Year 8 DBD anniversary event today. And I have some predictions and stuff like that that I want to just talk about. Some stuff makes sense, some stuff that might not make sense to y'all. But I think this is some of the stuff they might include in the anniversary event. Some of it definitely they'll probably leave out. But there's some options here and there for some theories that I have. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So let's begin. So this is Year 8. And they always put some cool stuff into the game during the anniversary event. They always announce what's coming up for the following year. Last year, I think they announced the Iron Maiden and Slipknot stuff. You know, they announced Cool Killer, all kinds of stuff like that. And this year, I'm thinking they're going to announce 3 killers, first of all, based on the banner. So let's take a look at the banner real quick. You have, for example, the 8 itself. Now, in previous banners, it kind of hinted towards stuff that was to come into the game, such as Ghostface came out one year, and the number in the banner kind of looked like the Ghostface 3, I believe it was, if I remember correctly. It was in the same kind of styling of the font. And just different stuff like that. A lot of times, like, they put little hints and clues in, especially in the tome itself, which, if you look at one of my previous videos, there's a video about how I thought it could have been The Shining coming up because of the tome. You know, like, for instance, the Unknown chapter, before it came out, the tome for it had a lot of movie theater stuff, just like the Greenville Square, I believe the map is called. Is it Square or is it Center? I can't remember. But, you know, and also the Chucky chapter, right before that, it was toy-themed in the tome. So, they always like to throw in hints in both the tome and the banner for different stuff, like, throughout the year. But with the 8 in the banner, I honestly think that we're getting obsession-based killers. I think, or at least one obsession-based killer. And it's been proven it's probably going to be Vecna. So, Vecna, if anybody hasn't been in the loop, they showed a trailer for D&D and DBD. Man, say that 10 times fast. But, I kind of tempted to. But they announced that there's going to be a D&D chapter or some kind of event that's going to be talked about during the anniversary event for the D&D and DBD. It showed some kind of weird eye monster. I don't know. I've only played one campaign of D&D in my life, and, you know, I don't know much about the game itself or the board game. Is it considered a board game? I'm not sure. But I'm thinking that basically seals it in that we're getting Vecna, unless they throw us in a random direction with a different character, but I'm pretty sure it's Vecna. Part of that is also going back to the tome hints. So initially, I thought it could have been The Shining, but then I looked at it and I looked at all the gold and everything else that they put in, like, theme-wise, and I realized
the box.
Vecna, a lot of the imagery I've seen of Vecna, because I've never seen that character before. I never watched Stranger Things. I never looked at D&D, like, for that character in it, I mean. And I noticed there's a lot of imagery of gold around that character. So it makes total sense that they would use Vecna and have that as the hint for it. If you want to look at my theories about what else could have been going on, like with the Shining thing, I do have a previous video that you could check out. I put it out, I think, last week. I have to double check that. But I'll check that. I'll edit this out and maybe put a link. I don't know. But looking at those facts, I'm 90% sure that's what we're getting. Unless it's going to be some kind of weird collab where, you know, they put t-shirts in, you know, kind of like the music stuff. But we are definitely also getting Frank Stone in some way, shape, or form. It's a game that's coming out by Supermassive, I believe the company's called, the same ones who made Until Dawn. And it's going to be a branch off of DBD. Now, it would make total sense for them to announce 3 different killers this anniversary event. Vecna, Frank Stone, and then a third, which we'll get to the other one in a minute. But Frank Stone, it would make perfect sense for them to put him in as a killer, or whatever he is in the game. I'm assuming he's killer based on how he looks, but if you look at the skull at the bottom of the banner, it's got these little prongs sticking out on the lower jaw, and it almost looks like the mask that he wears, the Iron Mask, in the photography for the game. But as much as it looks like that, if you think about it, it could also be a red herring. Yep, I used that pun, red herring. You know, I'm a very punny person. But It could be a red herring to throw us off because they might give us Predator. You know, they gave us the Alien license, so the Predator license isn't too far off. It might be easy for them to get it. Who knows? I honestly have a theory that they were supposed to put Predator in before and they ended up doing the Skull Merchant instead. There's a lot of signs there. You know, similarity in the looks of the weaponry, you know, like the claw things. The drones doesn't really make much sense. But if you look, it seemed like a rushed chapter. You know, from everything from the lore, the looks of the characters, or the character, the way it walks, it seems like they kind of just rushed that chapter out, like they meant to have something else. So, I have this like weird theory that I'm probably wrong on, that Predator was supposed to be in the game just like Candyman, and for whatever reason it got pushed off. Kind of like how the Clown and Kate Denson were supposed to be in the game earlier, but they opted for Leatherface instead, which threw the whole thing off. Because if I remember correctly, there was some kind of thing I read before about how the Clown was initially supposed to be a soldier character, and then they changed it over time because there was a few chapters between when they thought the idea up and when they released it. And Kate was supposed to be a character that goes with Leatherface, but they never added a survivor. Whatever reason, I don't know. I just remember reading that backstory, and there's a lot of people who seem to confirm that it was true, so maybe it's a situation like that with the Predator where they couldn't get the license out in time, where they had to put it on the shelf. Kind of like what it seemed happened to Candyman, because when Candyman was supposed to come out with the movie, they postponed the movie, I think, and I think they postponed the chapter because they wanted to use the publicity of the movie. But Frank Stone, or Predator, could be in the game. Frank Stone makes a lot of sense simply because, let's go back to the Frank Stone thing, I should say. Frank Stone makes perfect sense because why not put the killer from that other game into DBD? It's a no-brainer, especially since they love to give incentive by saying, hey, you'll get something in DBD if you buy this game. When Meet Your Maker came out, you could get t-shirts. When Hooked on You came out, there was a skin you can get if you bought the game. So, usually it was skins, but what if they give you Frank Stone as a character, as incentive to buy the game? That would be really cool. Be different, too. Or, they could just make it not its own killer, and make it a skin for, say, Trapper, because looking at the body shape and everything, it honestly kind of looks like Trapper kind of build. But who knows? I'm thinking we might get Frank Stone, or we might just get some information on Frank Stone. Who knows? Could be a little of either, or we could get Predator, like I said. What else is seemingly confirmed is we will be getting Solid Snake skins, however. Solid Snake was found in the files for one of the player test betas. And it wasn't fully confirmed that it's actually Solid Snake, but what they gave us was a banner with Solid Snake on it. They gave us a badge with a box on it from Metal Gear Solid, you know, the iconic box it hides under or whatever. And there was a character for Cheryl, a skin for Cheryl, legendary skin, that had no imagery from what I understand. But the file name was Reptile. Solid Snake. And they're both owned by Konami, or Kunami, however you pronounce it. I never actually heard somebody use that company name in real life, so I might be pronouncing it wrong. But, you know, that leads to the fact that we're 90% sure we're getting Solid Snake for whatever reason, and it does make sense in a way because, let's face it, Konami kind of whores out that character to everybody. I mean, it's been in Smash Brothers, it's been in Fortnite. I'm pretty sure they would shove it on anything. They just love to use them characters in random things. But there's a chance we're getting that as a skin, even though it doesn't make much sense. I don't know how I feel about Solid Snake in the game, if it comes to it, because you know they seem to be putting more and more stuff that's kind of distanced from horror. I just don't get why. I guess they're just trying to put in as much as they can to draw more people in, but it's getting kind of ridiculous now, and I'm hoping they don't like step too far with it and put things in the game that really take away from the horror aspect, you know. But the other killer possibilities for that third killer. So, looking at the tome and going back to the theme of gold, what if it's Leprechaun? They missed the mark by not putting it for St. Patty's Day, March, all that stuff. But what if it's Leprechaun? That would be kind of cool, you know. A little bit too far ahead, because unless they do it for next March. But I don't know. That seems like something that would be interesting to see in the game, especially since they put Chucky in, because they have a smaller killer. That was a big argument with Chucky. You know, he's too small to be in the game. What if, because they have Chucky, they have, you know, they decided since they have them characters that size, they can just put leprechaun in because similar size character. Then, if you look at the banner, a lot of people are saying this. I didn't go in this direction, but I figured it's worth mentioning because other people talked about it. But the Thing. Apparently, two of the skulls are merged together, and it looks like a character called the Thing. I've never seen that movie, and people are probably going to yell at me for that because it's a classic, but I really should watch it. You know, as a horror fan, I should see that. But anyway, a lot of people are mentioning that because apparently it looks like a character who's kind of merged together in two heads or something. I looked up the character, and I don't know much, but it does seem like it's possible. But it's more likely we're going to get Dracula. And the picture I use, of course, is Bela Lugosi. That is the iconic Dracula. I don't think it'll be that Dracula, but I think it'll be the Castlevania version. Because there was some kind of leak out before. I forget who, like, put out the leak. But they also said Vecna was coming to the game. And they said Castlevania as well. So if they were right about Vecna, they could be right about Castlevania too. Or Dracula. Which would be kind of cool, because we need more iconic horror. You know, as opposed to stuff like Vecna and stuff. I mean, no offense to the D&D community. But, you know, it's cool to have that in the game. But it would be even cooler if we had stuff like Frankenstein, Dracula, you know, Creature from the Black Lagoon, which we kind of have with the hag skin. They put a hag skin in that looks similar. And, you know, some of them really classic old black and white style horrors. Because those are what built what we have today, horror-wise. Which is, you know, it'd be cool to kind of put them in the game just to have them in because of that. And also, as I'm recording this, which is the 10th of May, today they released and as I'm recording this, which happens to be May 10th, I've been a little late on this video, so I'm recording it later than I wanted to. They've released a sound clip about the new not new chapter, but the anniversary event. They released a sound clip of the anniversary event. And the voice is high pitched. It's a woman, it sounds like a woman that's a better way to say it. The sound clip sounds like a woman. And she's saying, you know, about the anniversary event, stuff like that. A lot of people are saying it sounded like a Five Nights at Freddy's character. Specifically Chica from the newer the newer game, Security Breach, I believe it's called. I'm not a big Five Nights at Freddy's fan, so I don't know much about it, but I did see somebody post a clip of the character's voice, and it did seem pretty similar. So that's worth noting, that it could be Five Nights at Freddy's, which is something that people have been wanting for a long time. I don't know how I feel about that, because of the community, you know, there's a lot of stuff where people said that Five Nights at Freddy's community is toxic. I don't know, because I don't interact with them. But, you know, if it is that case, I really don't want DBD and Five Nights at Freddy's together. Because, you know, toxic community, and let's face it, DBD is a freaking toxic community as it is. So, nobody can agree on anything, and it's a shit show half the time. If you want proof, check Twitter. But, you know, the sound clip sounds a lot like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like a character. And also somebody said Lollipop Chainsaw, which would be kind of a cool collab, but that goes back into the whole, you know, not really fitting the game. You know, I don't want to see DBD turn into more like a Fortnite, where like they have skins of stuff that doesn't really have relevancy. But then we have what I was talking about for the tome in a previous video, like I said earlier. It could be The Shining. So a lot of these stuff, if you go back into my old video that I posted when the tome first came out, I believe it's tome 19 Splendor. I know it's called Splendor. I think it's tome 19. But there was a lot of stuff in the tome that hinted at it could be The Shining and Dr. Sleep. Specifically, Danny Torrance, Jack Torrance, and Rose the Hat. Which, if anybody hasn't seen those movies, Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining. Jack Torrance is Danny's father. He's the one that's iconic with the axe screaming, "Here's Johnny." In the sequel, Danny is grown up. He's a child in The Shining. Danny's grown up and he helps a little girl. And there's this woman chasing that little girl named Rose the Hat, who sucks the life force out of people. Both of those characters, Jack Torrance and Rose, would be perfect killers in DBD. And this would give an opportunity for the first chapter that had two killers. Like two separate killers. Or they could just do a skin. But it would be awesome to have two separate killers and a survivor as opposed to two survivors, one killer. Because they've done that so many times. You know? You can't really say the Resident Evil chapters, they did that because, you know, they broke it up into Project W and the Resident Evil chapter. So it wasn't all in one. It wasn't like the Scar Merchant chapter. It wasn't like what was the other one? The Stranger Things chapter, where you got two survivors, one killer. It would be cool just to have one survivor, two killers, and change it up a bit. But you can go back into that video, and that'll explain a lot of my theories on that. I just think it would be a cool concept. So I also think that we're going to get some game announcements. As usual, you know, usually they'll say, oh, well, we're changing perks up, we're going to do these maps this year and redo them, which I honestly don't like how they've been changing some of the maps lately, but, I mean, it's got to be changed up eventually. You get used to them. You know, you don't like them at first, but then they grow on you. Anyway, you know, they change a little bit here and there in the game itself. So, I think one of the main things they're going to change, when they're going to announce, is custom match changes. I think they're going to do a lot around custom matches to make them more fun instead of just, you know, self-made rules for hide and seek and stuff. I think they're going to add modifiers to it. So if you want to play Lights Out with your friends, you can. If you want to play My Little Oni, you can. Like, they're just going to add different, like, modifiers to the game so that, you know, you have something a little bit different to do. And I would love to see them put seasonal stuff in as well. So maybe, like, where you can play customs and run around with the snowman, or you can see the pumpkins, or just something like that, where you could do something a little different than just a plain old match with your friends. You know, aside from making rules to play hide and seek or something like that. Or maybe they'll put in a modifier for a hide and seek so you don't even have to make rules. I just think it would be a cool concept to be able to play those extras in customs. And I think it would benefit the community too as well. And it'll also make the game shelf life a little bit longer. Because it's more you can do. You know, I played a lot of customs, and I get bored of them. Because one of the people I play with, they're super good at killer. And, you know, just playing regular killer, it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to run around until I die. You know, or I'll be playing with somebody who doesn't know how to play, and they'll be like, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to teach them how to play while we're doing this. You know, and it's not really like an actual match. It's more just messing around in the game. So it'd be really cool to have those customs so you could do something a little different other than playing just a normal match that's predictable because you're with your friends, you know? Because everybody knows when you play with a certain team, everything gets a little predictable because you know how everybody works. So it's easier to win against them and lose against them. So I think them custom things will make it a little more fun and make it a little more worthwhile to play custom matches. On the same page as that, I think they're going to give us bot killers. I think now that the survivors can turn into bots when they DC, and you can add bots to the custom matches and everything, I think they're going to do that for killers now as well. This way, if a killer DCs, they can keep the game going. You know, it's not punishing anybody, just like, because if a survivor leaves, yeah, there's a bot. So the killer doesn't get affected. They just get an easier match. Killer leaves, at least the survivors might have an easier match. So, you know, I think they'll put in something like that. Plus, it's good to practice against a killer that way, too, for customs. So by doing that, it also benefits custom matches because now you can do more than just play with survivors. You know, if you're a killer. You can actually have a killer to go against so you can practice against them. I think we're going to get more game modes as well. I don't think they'll announce what the game modes will be, or the modifiers, whatever we're going to call them. Lights Out was last year, came with Alan Wake. My Little Oni came out for, I want to say, April Fool's. I think it was. I can't remember. There was another one too, I believe. But they gave us a few of them already, and I think they're going to announce that they'll do more. They might not say what they are, but it'll be pretty cool. There's going to be a zombie mode that somebody was talking about in the questionnaire that they mentioned, which I think is a cool concept. It sounds like the Halo style, you know, shotguns and swords zombie mode, which to me, I think that's pretty cool. and I'd love to play something like that. Maybe that's just in my head because that's what I associate with the zombie mode, but it'd be neat to see that. For all we know, it could be Nemesis, and it could be just a bunch of zombies walking around, you know. Which, if anybody's ever seen my stream, zombies kill me more than Nemesis. Cross progression. Let's all just sit, take a second, and just laugh our asses off because I mentioned cross progression. We're never getting cross progression. Anyway, I think we might get cross progression. It might be just like something out of left field that they just throw at us. But honestly, 1% chance. I think they gave up on trying to do this cross progression. They realized they make too much money on people buying chapters separately. You know, and I think they're just saying, you know, screw the fan base, screw the community, never give them cross progression because it just means they're going to give us more money and they're going to have to keep playing if they have to start on a new console. Now, if the game lasts 10 years, I could totally see them doing it just on the concept of, well, we're keeping the game going, so we might as well because it's going to be on too many consoles now. I could see that happening. But I don't think we'll get cross progression right now. We'll probably get perk updates just like normal, you know. They'll be saying, oh, well, we're changing these meta perks and this and that and the other. They'll probably do it badly, because they always do. And, you know, just the simple stuff. They might change add-ons too, but they've been doing that gradually with each killer. So I don't know if they'll just do like a full rollout of changes or not. They never change killers the way that they should be. I'm actually coming out with a few videos about that soon. Like, for instance, the Leatherface update they're doing currently. It's not what they should be doing. Literally, they're just like, well, let's do this, and yeah, nobody told them they're wrong. It might be good for Leatherface players, but guess what? It's just breaking the character more. But we'll get into that in another video. You know, but I think they'll update some stuff, you know, add-ons, perks. I might have a theory that I could talk about in another video. I don't know yet. I've been contemplating it. That they might change animations for some of the characters. Because some of them are very basic. You know, if you notice, some of the newer killers have more animations. You know, their animations seem a little bit different than the older characters, and I think they might try to change it up to make each one more unique. So I think we might get an update of that as well. I think they scrapped the Mori update too. So I don't think we'll get any news on that. Also, I think they're going to add voices to all survivors. I honestly think they're going to go ahead and say, you know what? Let's add voices to all survivors. They're just going to give one to Dwight, Claudette, you know, Kate Denson. Basically anybody they have that they don't have to have a license on, that doesn't already have one. I think I said that right. They're going to change. They're going to just give them a voice. Because it's about damn time, you know? All the newer characters have voices, so why not revamp the older characters? I mean, it might ruin some of the, like, headcanon that people have, you know, how they sound, stuff like that. But at least it'll give it some kind of, you know, official lore for how they sound, how they speak, stuff like that. And it'd just be a cool, immersive experience to hear more survivors that actually can talk. You know? But I can still see them making Dwight really goofy because they pick on that character and it's so bad. But anyway, I think that is all the stuff they'll be changing. You know, that's just some theories of what they'll be doing to the game itself. Other announcements that I think they might put in will be the casting of Frank Stone, which is pretty obvious. You know, they've been pushing that a little bit more. They even put a hint about the game into the new map. I was about to say the name, but I forgot the name again. It's Greenville Square or Center or something. It's the movie theater map. But honestly, you know, they put that in there, and I think they released a small trailer for the game, and that was about it, like a teaser. And with the banner showing it, and like they're showing the tongues and everything, or I don't know what you would call them, like the things that come out under the jaw of the mask on the skull. You know, I think they're just going to talk a lot about the casting of Frank Stone. I hope that's the right name. I don't know if there's like a different name. I just thought it was called Casting of Frank Stone. But anyway, I think they're going to talk a lot about that. They might unveil that the killer will be in the game. And, you know, if he's a killer, of course. And I honestly think that's one of the big things we're going to get this year. They're going to talk a lot about that. They're going to talk about the backstory of the game. And hopefully they don't spoil too much for it, which I don't think they will. And they'll probably show that you can pre-order it now, you know, the date that it's released, all that cool stuff. But I also have this weird crackhead theory that they're going to just come out and go, hey, remember when you guys wanted blood points and we told you you could fuck a ghost? I think we're getting hooked on you too. I honestly think that they might release something hooked on you related. Just because, you know, it was so out of left field and it caught everybody off guard. And there were people who enjoyed that game. So I wonder if they're going to come out with something like that. Maybe something even more ridiculous. I don't know. They could put out anything, you know. I think they're going to put like a mini side game like that out. And I'm all for it because that was actually fun to play. It was funny, it was comical. And I wish they would do more stuff like that because it's so goofy, you know? I think they might actually do DBD VR as well, though. Yes, DBD VR. I think this is the year. I have a weird feeling that they're working on it. Because if I remember correctly, during one of the questionnaires that they gave you about the game, you know, what you want to see in the game, etc., they actually brought up a mod, or modifier, I think they called them. I call them mods, but I think they're called modifiers. Where it was similar to a VR effect where, you know, it was first person, you don't see behind you or anything unless you turn around, stuff like that. And that's a cool concept, but I feel like that's more VR based, so I think they might have been asking because of that. You know, not for the little mini games that they've been putting in DVD. I think they're doing it because of that itself. So there's a possibility we might get DVD VR this year. And also, most likely, we're probably going to get more graphic novels. You know, they did a cool Legion graphic novel. I bought it all of them because I'm a huge Legion fan. You know, I'm a Legion main in game. Party Crasher Legion. But I think we might get another series of graphic novels. This time, probably Skull Merchant. I think we might get like a Skull Merchant series or maybe a Huntress series. I don't know if it would be Huntress. It seems like a cool concept. I remember reading something about it before. Someone was talking about it, and it made total sense for them to do it, to make that. But Skull Merchant seems like it makes more sense because, I mean, the backstory, she comes from like a family with a manga writer and stuff. So, and it was almost like a anti-superhero type thing, you know, where she goes around, builds a suit, kills people. So I wonder if maybe they do something with that. Even though I'm not a big fan of Skull Merchant, it's an alright character. I just think it was, like I said earlier, I think it wasn't supposed to come out when it did. I think it was under, you know, designed. It wasn't finished yet when it was released. But we might get like something like that. It could be any character though. I don't think it would be a licensed character, but I'm pretty sure we can get any unlicensed character with some kind of, you know, graphic novel. But aside from that, we got a board game, I believe. I think they came out with a board game one year. Or at least they were trying to. I think we might get a collectible card game. They might announce something like that because everything's got a card game these days. As trivial as it is, everything's got a card game. And I'm wondering if they're going to try to go that same route with it, DVD. You know, which I'm all for because I like collecting cards, but I think they might do that. So that's something to think about, you know, some kind of collectible card game, because I think they came out with a board game already, stuff like that. And they even have little Funko Pops. They're not quite Funko Pops, so I think that fell through. I think they're, what's the competitor called? I think it's U2s or Untunes, or I don't know the name of them, but it's like a knockoff version of Funko Pops. They came out with them instead. So, I mean, if they were coming out with that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure they'll put out anything DVD related, which is kind of cool in a way. For all we know, they could say, hey, we're coming out with Legos. Who knows? But I think it would be a collectible card game, and I think that would be a cool concept. Even if it's just like collector cards that don't actually have an actual game. One of the bigger things that I think will be coming out, one of the bigger things I think that'll be coming out as an announcement is the DBD movie. I think they're going to finally announce when it's coming out. Like the actual date. But I've had this theory since Nicolas Cage came out and they announced the DVD movie that Nicolas Cage is in the movie. Nicolas Cage is known for being in random movies, and I don't want to call them weird movies because they're not really. They're actually pretty good. But he's in them really obscure, like, left field films that don't really make much sense plot-wise sometimes. And, you know, you don't expect him to be in. So, it wouldn't surprise me if the reason he's in the game itself is because he's also in the movie. So I think we're getting the announcement for that, for the release date, maybe some more info on the movie itself, who's in it, actor-wise, what characters, which I really think they're going to do a good job with the movie. As for collaborations for the DBD As for collaborations for the DVD event that they might announce, last year they announced Slipknot, Iron Maiden. I think they announced one of the clothing ones, like the skins. I can't remember the name of it. They might not have. It might be just, I might be thinking of the wrong thing there. But usually they'll announce some kind of collaborations. And honestly, I think we're getting another anime collaboration, just like we did for Attack on Titan. I'm hoping it's not Naruto, mostly because it's not fitting for the game. But also, in all honesty, and I'll probably get some heat for this, I hate Naruto. It's so overhyped. It's the Nirvana of anime. But, this isn't about like Nirvana, Naruto, anime. So I'm not going to get into why I think that, but this is about DBD. But the anime that I think will get it the most, I wish it would be CSM, Chainsaw Man. I really do, because I'm a huge Chainsaw Man fan, but I doubt it will be. I really don't think it would be. Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it's pronounced. That would probably be the one that gets it, because that's supposedly one of the bigger animes out there, a little bigger than Chainsaw Man. And as much as I'm not a fan of that, I've never actually watched it. I just think it's overhyped too. It seems like something that they might put in skin-wise, kind of like they did with Attack on Titan. Because let's face it, Attack on Titan didn't really fit in DVD either. But I feel like that might be what they do. Or maybe something that's more fitting would be like a Junji Ito, I hope I pronounced that right, chapter. For anybody who does, or not chapter, but collaboration, skins and whatnot. For anybody who doesn't know who that is, they are a horror writer in Japan that does a lot of different books that are kind of horror-based, manga-wise. I think they're manga-wise. I still gotta read some of them, but I really want to. I just can't afford the books at the moment. But, anyway, I think that would be more fitting for, like, an anime collaboration, and I think that's what they might do. They might do one of those three. Maybe something else. Like I said, I hope it's not Naruto, but that would be totally possible because of the fan base. Or, God help us, Dragon Ball Z. I think it would be Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, or Junji Ito would be some animes that they would collaborate with. Fallout, I don't think they would. I had somebody comment on one of my videos saying that about a Fallout chapter, and it's way too soon for that. The popularity of the Fallout TV series hit way too late. So if they do anything Fallout collaborated, which would be kind of cool, that's one of my favorite series, it would probably come next year. I don't think they would announce it this year for anniversary. It would be cool though, especially if you could run around with like a vault skin or something. Or a vault suit, I guess you would call it. Music though, I'm hoping they don't go the pop music route, but I think they're going to give us more music collaborations. I just have this feeling that they're going to keep going with this music collaboration, like 2 bands a year. And I'm hoping that it isn't pop music, because pop music, I'm a huge fan. I don't believe any music sucks, but I hate pop music. I like listening to it sometimes, but it's just too overrated. I feel like it wouldn't fit in DBD, so I'm hoping it's more metal or rock, because that fits more, or like even punk rock, because Naya has a punk rock skin, so it does fit in a way. But I think it would be maybe Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, hell, Kiss likes to, sell out massively. We might even get some Kiss skins. Who knows? Gene Simmons is probably hungry for money. He always is. Anyway, watch me get some kind of angry Gene Simmons comment now. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I think those are the collaborations that we might get. We might get something like that. It'll probably be something different, but that's just my theory here. Because I feel like they're going to lean more into the anime thing now. Maybe even Demon Slayer for an anime collaboration. But I think they're also going to do the music collab because it worked good last year. I didn't like the Slipknot collaboration, so I don't want them to go in that route. I feel like they should have gave us t-shirts for that as well, because it went all killer-sided. But, I think that's where they're going to go collaboration-wise. There's a lot of different stuff that I'm probably wrong on. There's stuff that I probably didn't think about. There's stuff that you guys probably thought about. Please put it in the comments if you have any theories yourself of what's going to happen. We still have 4 days, like maybe 3 when I upload this. I'm running late on posting this video. I am not good at video editing, guys, and I'm trying my best. But I think this is some of the cool stuff that they'll be showing, they'll be talking about. And, of course, we'll probably get some codes, charms, banners. We'll probably get more this year, mostly because of the banners. They added banners this year, or last year. So we'll probably get more codes. And if you're a part of my Discord, I'll always post the codes up on there as always. If you're part of Twitch, I will be streaming the anniversary event live, so you guys can see, you know, you guys can see what the codes are. You can see what's going on with it if you want to watch it and see the reactions. But, you know, my links for all that are on my YouTube page, my channel, if you guys want to check all that out. But that's everything that I've been thinking might be in the anniversary event. And, like I said, there's probably more. There's probably less. I probably thought of stuff that isn't in there. You know, maybe I'm grasping at straws with some stuff like the Shining chapter. Who knows? But like I said, comment what you guys think. If you like my content, please like it. Please drop a like. Subscribe. You know, I'm just trying to put out some cool content. I'm just trying to have some fun here. So, you know, if you don't like my content, let me know. Because I'm doing my best. I just like to, you know, post videos. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Just give me your honest opinion. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts about all this in the comments. Hopefully, we get a lot of these changes. And hopefully, it's a great year for DBD. I hope everybody has great matches. I hope this year is the best year of your DBD playing life. And I hope the chapters that come out are the chapters you guys want to see. But anyway, until next video, I'm Charlie Chainsaw. Keep on keeping on, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I will see you guys next video.